Welcome to the latest episode of the Sim Standard Podcast. And I believe we're live. I'm just waiting for it to reflect on my computer. The software says we're live, but I don't see it yet. So give us a second, guys. You know, technology is ever changing. There we go. All right, so we are live. I see it on the computer now. So again, let's do the intro one more time. Welcome, guys, to the latest episode of the Sim Standard Podcast. And it looks like, for whatever reason, closed caption is on, at least on my browser. So if you guys are seeing that, I apologize, but maybe some of you guys like that. But anyway, man, welcome back. Hope everybody had a happy holiday in terms of Thanksgiving, if you celebrate that type of thing. Interesting story I'll throw out there really quick. Not everybody celebrates Thanksgiving, guys, and for the most part, if you know your history, it's pretty much, just the United States for the most part. My brother-in-law is married to a Swedish woman, and long story short, their daughter has been back to Sweden from time to time. She's acquired some friends over there, et cetera, et cetera. She went back and did her high school for some, schooling purposes. For you guys that may or may not know, places like Sweden and a lot of places in Europe, if you go to school there, you're able to go to college free. So she did her high school. She finished her high school over there, stayed with her grandmother, and then, of course, she came back. But anyway, long story short, one of her friends came to visit. She's actually still here. She'll be here for another week. And this was her first Thanksgiving. And then it was funny because we started talking at the table, and I said, yeah, that's right. They don't celebrate Thanksgiving in Sweden because obviously, if you guys know where Thanksgiving came from, duh, I don't really have to say why other countries, for the most part, or, other places in the world don't necessarily celebrate it. But anyway, I say all that to say this, happy Thanksgiving to you guys who do celebrate Thanksgiving. I hope it was great. I hope you spent time with your family. And obviously, that's the reason why we were not on air last Thursday. But we are back tonight, man. And as you can see in the title, we're going to kind of talk about the top 5 core gameplay expectations for Madden on Gen 5, speaking of PS5. And that's kind of what we're going to talk about tonight, man. And we'll see how long that takes. If it takes up until 10 o'clock, great. If it doesn't, then I'm sure we'll at least give you guys enough content to enjoy. But like we always do, man, before we get started, I'm going to throw it to Smitty and, see how everything has been for him over the last couple of weeks. He'll talk about the Lions. I'll talk a little bit about the Steelers. And then we'll jump into Madden. So, Smitty, man, how was everything? How's everything been, man? How was your holiday? And how you currently feeling about the Detroit Lions?
I mean, holiday was good. Spent some quality time with the family and all that. So, that was good. Got to see some people and, have some good eating going on and all that. So that's always enjoyable, spending that quality time. But outside of that, I mean, to be quite frank, I didn't even give a care to watch the Lions play because we already know what it's about. We know what the situation is with the team. I'm so upset about him, man. I don't even want to play with him in Madden. You know what I'm saying? I feel like just playing with another team altogether. I just don't even want to bother. Because them boys, it's like they quit. Excuse me, they quit. When you let the Redskins beat you, you quit. I mean, that team literally is laying eggs. They laying down, letting folk take it from them. They just laying down. And then you still lose. You play against the Bears. Bears tear you up. You taking all these L's. I mean, I don't understand why. For example, Carrion is striving to get himself in game shape to come back and play. For what?
Yeah, I saw that. That don't make no sense.
No, don't come back. Sit down. Shut down. Stafford, same deal. Back problems and stuff like. Don't come back. For what?
I just seen who else at the Bengals. I saw that John Ross is coming back. I hope AJ Green ain't thinking about it. I mean, I get it, but I don't get it. If you out
Yeah,
of it, don't risk yourself getting hurt again for
right.
four
That's what
more
I'm saying.
games.
Like I understand, I get it. I get why they're trying to come back, but they don't need to come back, man. And no, I don't even want to hear any of that Hollywood. No, the Redskins suck. Okay,
Hail to the Redskins! Yeah.
the
Yeah, okay,
Redskins
Hollywood.
suck, man. Don't even try it. Them boys are trash, boy. I don't even want to hear
I
that.
ain't mad at Hollywood, though. You got to run with them, man. Well, if they
And yeah,
0
no,
16 or 16 0, you got to roll with them.
yeah. Hey, no, I'm with them, but I'm just saying, like, you know, Stafford needs to be shut down. It needs to be shut down. You know what I'm saying? Put as many second and third stringers as you can. Call up whoever you need to call up from the practice squad. Give them some run. Let them get that first string love. Don't put your best team out there now.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a wrap. And this is the thing. This is the thing. What was Caldwell fired for? Oh man, we need to take it up a notch. We need better. 9-7 ain't good enough. Now this is my man's homeboy. You know, Patricia. This is your homie here. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he hasn't posted anything close to 9-7 yet, especially this year. Rushing 3 and 4 down linemen, no blitzing, exclusively playing man defense, dang near the entirety of games. Like, you're being one-dimensional completely. You know what I'm saying? And the other thing is, this is the crazy part. You hired the offensive coordinator or whatever, and Neville, and Stafford is balling out. I mean, he balled up. That's why I'm saying Stafford shut it down. Stafford balled out. MVP caliber type ball play. But he stopped. Just let it go. Leave it alone.
And why
You
did
know what
they
I'm saying?
trade? What y'all get back for old boy that y'all traded? What's his name? The safety.
Diggs?
Yeah.
We probably just fish in the bucket, basically, man. We didn't
Oh
really
man.
we gave it away for like a draft pick or something like that or whatever, but it wasn't nothing top tier. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, Diggs is a good player. That's the thing about it. Diggs came up and ended up becoming one of the key standout kind of players in the Lions secondary when Caldwell was here. You see what I'm saying? But then all of a sudden, oh man, he's bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, there's problems with this guy, man. Clearly there is a disconnect with this team. You can't be and that's the thing. It's not like we didn't have the talent on paper. We have the talent on paper to be effective, but the problem is it's the coaching translation. The game plan translation ain't there. And when that's not there, this is what happens. You lose. You know what I'm saying? And you keep on losing. And that's the thing. The majority of these games that the Lions have lost have been by a touchdown or less. I would say, dang, no. Excuse me. Well, this was like a week ago, but they looked at the record and they said, like, what would the Lions' record be? What was the Lions' record? I think, well, how many weeks was this through? I think they said they would have been 6. They would have been 6-3-3 after three quarters. They said, like, what's the Lions' record after 3 quarters in their games and everything. And I think they said at that point when they did this was on the radio, I think they said they were like 6-3-3. And I'm like, that's the thing. A lot of these games will be up, or it'll be tied, or we'll be up, and then we'll be hanging through half or a good part of the fourth quarter or something like that. Then all of a sudden we just lose it all, and it's like, what's going on? Like you're telling me you can't get. You're telling me that you can't put together a second half of football? I mean, I understand Caldwell had some of those problems, but it wasn't. It wasn't always like that. Yeah, he made some questionable decisions and some bonehead ones here and there, but it wasn't like this. I mean, goodness. I mean, look, Caldwell, 3 out of the 4 years he was here, went to the playoffs. Okay, this brother here ain't even, man, okay.
And it
And
looked
that's
like
why,
it started off good too last year. You know, you get New England come to the house, you get a win on them. I said, okay.
yeah,
And next thing you know, man, looked like, wow, just took a turn for the worse.
exactly. Exactly. So that's what the Lions are, man. That's why I'm just looking at them now. It's just like, man, whatever, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, I mean, what's being said is just like, of course, sell the team, shut down the starters, fire, the GM. His name slips my mind for whatever reason, but fire the GM, fire the head coach, get them all out of here, and you got to start anew. And I for one agree. I at least agree with the head coach, and I understand it's a process, and that's one of the things too. How Patricia gonna sit over and say, "Well, it's a process," bro? You've been in all these games and you lost them in the fourth quarter by 7 points or less. What process? What process are you going through that you can't finish games? Like, what do you mean it's a process? Come on, man. Don't pull that. Don't try to pull that Philly move and everything. Oh, trust the process. No, dog. No. You got 16 chances to do it. This ain't basketball. You got 16 chances to do it. Teams will turn it around and they will come firing out the can. Look at the dang on Bills and what they're doing. Look how them boys is balling. Look at the Steelers, your team. Look how they started. When them boys started, you're like, man, it's a rap.com on them boys. Man, look where them boys at now. You see what I'm saying? Like they're in the hunt. So it's like there is no excuse that you're going to be able to put out that's just gonna that I'm gonna trust a process. Especially when you're defensively only rushing 3 down dang on linemen and you're not blitzing at all. Get the heck out of here, man. No, I ain't buying any of that garbage. But yeah, man, no, it's a wash of a season for the Lions. So that's where I'm at with it. They ain't got no chance to do anything. All they're playing for right now is for draft position, and that's why I don't want them. I don't want them to win no more games for the rest of the year. Get as high of a draft pick as possible. So that's it. What's the top pick? What's my man's name? That top collegiate player. I can't think of my man's name right now.
Defense.
Yeah, I think
Chase Young.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's him. Play for him. That's it. That's the play. You know what I'm saying? That's who you're playing for. So no, set everybody down, take it nice and easy, let everybody roll over you, and hopefully that tie that they had doesn't come back to bite us in the rear in that regard. But otherwise, yeah, it seems dead. They dead in the water. So yeah, Chase Young. But all right, Sim, man, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, man, I'll be brief with Pittsburgh. I don't want to bore people with that for those who are here double dipping. They've heard me talk about them on Tuesday. Real quick, man, it look like the Cowboys is coming out here, back to old school football. They've handed it off to Zeke about 6 times on this drive, and here they are already on, where they at, about the 25. So for you Cowboy fans, they're driving. Y'all need this one. You lose this one, oh boy. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah, man, as far as the Steelers, listen, guys, nothing has changed. I'm still going to say I have no expectations for this season. I never thought they would be 7-5, like Smitty said, and be sitting here with a chance. I mean, literally, if the season ended tonight, they're in the playoffs. Never would have thought that. When we have essentially a 4th-string quarterback, because remember, folks, a lot of people don't remember this. Duck Hodges was cut in favor of Josh Dobbs. Okay? We ended up trading away Josh Dobbs. Duck Hodges came back on the practice squad. Remember, there was still a situation where I don't think this guy was ever ahead of Duck. But remember who else is currently on their practice squad? Paxton Lynch. So it's not like Duck Hodges was the guy that we were going to go to. It was Mason Rudolph's job to lose. Mason Rudolph has not looked good. But I will continue to say this. I'm not going to throw that guy in the trash yet. Let's see what he develops into. He's a backup. Remember, Ben Roethlisberger will be back next year. But anyway, so we got Devlin Duck Hodges, who's not afraid to let it rip. And they winning some games, man. We got some guys who are stepping up. James Washington has come out of his shell. And oh boy, is he having wonderful success. Benny Snell is showing some success on the ground. And that defense, I mean, much I can really say about, much more I can say about the defense. Balling out of control. And here they are with a chance to get to the playoffs. And we'll see. 4 games left, Smitty. 7-5. You got to go to Arizona this week. That's not necessarily an easy win. Don't look at the record. Just look at the potential of that offense. And you're on the road again with the third, essentially fourth string quarterback. Anything could happen there. Turn around after that, you got the Buffalo Bills. And look at what Buffalo's doing. It's at home, but that ain't going to be an easy win either. That could very well be a loss. And then you turn around and you get the Jets. Again, the Jets are not doing that good, but guys, we always have to look at it like this, Steelers fans. Let's not be naive. We're facing some really good defenses these next. Well, I won't say that. I won't say if the Cardinals' defense is good. I know they are probably the worst, one of the worst in the league as far as giving up big plays. But they got if I'm not mistaken, the top sack guy, the leading sacks. I forget his name, man. It slips my mind now. Is it Chandler Jones? Somebody like that. But so I think he's leading sacks right now. So they could get to the quarterback, but the defense doesn't really put a lid on big plays. So we might be able to make something happen there. But let's just never mind them. Let's look at the Bills. Let's look at the Jets. And then let's take a look at the Baltimore Ravens to end the season after this week. Good defenses versus a young quarterback. Let's not pat ourselves on the back yet and think that we're going to walk in the playoffs. I just don't fool yourself. What I think, Smitty, looking at everybody else who's in the hunt, I think a 9-7 will probably get that last spot. I don't think, as we stand here now, I don't think the 6th spot is going to be a 10-win team. Tennessee is sitting right there. They're right there 7-5 as well. But I think Tennessee, they're going to have a tough outing the last 4 games. They got Houston twice, so they could drop one. So, again, looking at that, I think it's going to be whoever can come out of this thing who can go 2-2 over the next 4 games, or for somebody who's worse than that. If a team can go on a run and win all 4 games, then obviously they'll get in. But we'll see. And that's all I'm really going to say about the Steelers, man. It's great to see where they are. It's great to see the job the coaching staff has done. You got to tip your hat to Coach Tomlin. I know he gets a lot of hate out there, but considering what he's been able to do, Smitty alluded to it. Under the circumstances, who knew we'd be sitting at 7-5 at this point? Crazy. But anyway, and then while Kia says Le'Veon Bell has no lanes to run through, it won't matter. I feel you, kid. And you know what? Bell should have stayed his tail in Pittsburgh, man. I'm going to be honest with you. And I get it, though. I'm never going to blame Bell because I'm in favor of all players getting their money when they can get the money. And ironically, when you look at what the Jets signed him for, he would have made more with Pittsburgh. Everybody always talks about the guaranteed money, which I agree with. But if you look at the guarantee that he got from the Jets, he was virtually guaranteed the same amount in Pittsburgh in his first 2 years. He would have made $33 to $35 million in his first 2 years of the contract. He would have made that. So I think he probably should have stayed put. And in the long run, his contract was bigger than what it is at the Jets. But anyway, now he's seeing, with a different offensive line, how things are. It is what it is. Good luck to him. Maybe they'll get a turnaround next year. But anyway, guys, let's get off of that, man. Let's get into this Madden stuff, man. And shout outs to Smitty, man, because Smitty threw this topic to me earlier today. When I was like, what do you think you want to talk about tonight? And he said, we could talk about the top core gameplay expectations that we have for next gen Madden. Everybody knows that the PS5 is coming out, and the other consoles or what have you. Be honest with you, I haven't been checking on Xbox, so I'm behind the 8 ball on that. I don't know if that next machine is coming out next year as well, but the talk has been PS5. So we just want to talk a little bit about, man, what we expect, and not just what we're hoping for, what we would expect and demand out of a next gen product. And I understand where some of you guys, your thoughts are probably going to go. Shout outs to Ray. I saw that he said, we know it's going to be a port over, and, really we're talking about Madden 22. I get all of that. But I'm at the point, man, where I'm tired of being that guy. If y'all know what I mean. And I think Smitty knows what I'm saying. I'm tired of being the whole, we got to wait and see. I'm tired of that. I am sick and tired of that. And the reason why I can confidently say that, look at all the other sports games. I don't want to hear it from the Madden team. And I know it's not just them, and it's not really them at all, really. I know it's the people above them. But I'm tired of hearing the same story and the same song and dance out of Tiburon. I don't want to hear that, it's going to take No. We have given you guys now, this will be the third generation, pretty much. Well, even if you want to be modest, we could say this is the second generation that we have allotted to you to say, okay, make us a great football game. I don't want to hear it's going to take time and all that jazz. Nah. Your buck got to bang right out the gate. Right out the gate, because I'm telling you, these other gaming companies are going to surpass them even more. Because I don't think there's going to be no setback for 2K, which I finally got, guys. I told y'all I was going to get it. I did the smart thing just for me, not blaming anybody who, bought the game new. But I just know how my time works, and I don't always spend as much time as I can early on with 2K. Now I have time to do it, and I caught the half-price sale on, Black Friday, so I was happy about that. But 2K ain't going to take no setback. I doubt if MLB The Show will take a setback. Especially, listen to this, folks, newsflash, especially since MLB The Show is featured on the PlayStation. Don't you think that they probably have a leg up and they already ready to go? I wouldn't expect FIFA to take a step back. I wouldn't expect NHL, as far as the core aspects of that game, to take a step back. None of those games that we think are great. So I'm tired of dealing with it with Madden. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. That whole song and dance from back in the day. Well, I know, and don't get me wrong. Smitty and I both know it's gonna take time. We're not sitting here saying it's literally gonna be a flip of a switch. But I'm sick of being in that situation with Madden. And I'm just not gonna sit around and wait for them. I'm gonna play other games and just take Madden for what it is, and I'm just not gonna put as much energy into it if I see that there's not any real significant direction. Now how you want to attack this, Smitty, man? Because I'm sure our list is probably similar. Excuse me. So I'll throw it out there, and then if Smitty's list is very similar to mine, which I'm probably sure it is, then we'll just expand on what we mean. So what I got here is player movement. And I'm not talking about just the way they move. I'm talking about how the movement is displayed in terms of, I want to get to a point, Smitty, where I can see the physics in the running, where we can look and kind of see that, the foot is actually pressing the ground, and, torque and all of that comes from the texture. I would love to see a game like that. Sidebar, that's one of the things that I've noticed about 2K20 right out the gate. Now, I even said this when the demo was out. I can feel that movement a little better now. Like that that movement to me, I'm going to be honest with you. If you haven't played 2K in a while, it might feel sluggish to you at first until you get used to it. Like, I had to spend time in the scrimmage and say, okay, now I think I got the pacing and everything down. Then I went in and played my league game. Because at first I was like, whoa. Like, your momentum and such seems to matter in 2K. Now, again, I haven't played it for long, so some of you guys could challenge that. Please do. The next thing, physics driving the animation. Me and Smitty have beat the dead horse on this one. Listen, people always say that there shouldn't be canned animations, and I think you guys are looking at it the wrong way. Every single game has canned animations, even 2K. Every game. The difference is the best games are able to allow those animations to trigger based off of the situation. And body contact, physics, etc. can augment and change the animation that displays to our visual eyes. This is what I'm talking about. I don't want any more situations, Smitty, like in Madden, where we know what the tackle is going to be immediately as soon as it triggers. No.
Right.
I don't want that anymore. I mean, I get it. You got to have you got to have your canned animations, but I want physics to always be the driving factor where it can be interrupted. Or if two guys go up for the ball and one guy collides with the other, the limbs actually react respectively. Things like that. Obviously, the next one, weight and momentum. It has to be more of a factor. Because we still see from time to time, I will admit, Madden, up until this point of Madden 20, with the title updates and all, it has gotten better over the years in terms of representing or making us believe weight and momentum is playing out, but there are still those situations where guys being tackled forward and then the animation triggers and then he just happens to fall on the side. Like, no, that's not real weight and momentum. The next one for me, Smitty, would be, and I know you're going to say this one, the forced animations, guys, and interactions. That player interactions have to be 1-on-1. There shouldn't be any animation that is forced to happen only because the game has decided this is going to be the outcome. That's why Madden has its moments when it looks ugly, because the dice roll trumps everything. I don't want to see that anymore in a next-gen product. I think we could get it to the point to where it can be as loose as FIFA, or less of it like it is in 2K. 2K has significantly reduced it. And then, of course, the last one for me, man, is AI on the fly. And I'm not even going to steal Smitty's thunder on that, because I know he's going to go there as well when he talks about zones and how guys react. We just got to have it. We can't have a football game anymore where guys are just locked into their assignment. I'll give you another example, because I'll let Smitty talk about the zones. How many times have we seen, when you watch football, if you're watching this game tonight, right? Look at the defenders. Look at how they're able to make their tackle, whether it's a ball carrier or a quarterback. What are they doing? They're always watching the quarterback to determine where they're going to block shed or what move they're going to use, but they're trying to locate the ball. You never see in a real life football game, and if we see it tonight, somebody please point it out. You never see that the defensive line and the offensive line, well, let's just talk about the defensive lineman, where he's only worrying about the guy in front of him. That don't happen. Look, if y'all was just watching the game right there, even though they couldn't get off their block, as soon as they saw Trubisky running, they tried to block shit. That doesn't happen in Madden. How many times have your defensive lineman been standing right beside the quarterback and they're just stuck in a little patty cake situation? That stuff like that can no longer happen. We need AI on the fly, head tracking, sensible AI. And, of course, with having that, there are going to be mistakes, which I'm cool with. but I just want to see, real football attempted, to be replicated. It's never going to be perfect, but I don't think the things that we're mentioning here is too much to ask for when we are getting these things in other sports games. So that's just my quick list. Definitely, Smitty, if you want to chime in on your list. And like I said, man, anything that I'm sure that we're going to probably have pretty much close to the same, we'll just expand a little more on what we mean by those things. But what you got, man?
Yeah, I mean, a decent number of the points that you were making, are a lot of what needs to be in the game. So, I mean, first of all, player movement, like what you had said, that's number one. But like what Sim was talking about, inertia, foot planting, momentum, all those different elements, right? Those elements all need to be a part of it. But at the same time, we also need to see it when it comes to the player movement in relation to the position they're in the position they're in when they try to tackle, when they try to grab hold, when they try to juke, when you try to spin, when you try to do any move at all whatsoever. Even when you try to truck, you know what I'm saying? It's the same kind of deal. Wow, as my man nearly threw a pick there.
Yeah,
okay,
that's a
I
pick.
ain't see that.
They called it incomplete, but he got that other foot down. He dragged it.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a pick.
Wow. Okay. But no, and the reason why I say the different instances is, now this is the other part too. We also need it to be shown. Look, who is this guy? Who is this guy that I follow? All right, this channel that I follow, okay, it's called the Sideline Hustle. Okay, Now these guys talk about technique when it comes to DB play and wide receiver play. That's what we need to see happening in Madden. This goes in the whole player movement aspect.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at the FIFA notes, if you look at the FIFA pitch notes, for example, FIFA 20, they talk about player movement, but they just don't talk about player movement just running and foot planting. They talk about technique. They talk about what moves you're able to do offensively and defensively. So it's like they go well beyond just steps being accounted for and momentum and stuff like that. It goes well beyond that. We need to see that kind of stuff happening here in Madden, because right now it doesn't play out like that. Like, you don't have the game. They don't talk about, like, for example, they talk about never letting DBs dictate the depth of your route. And they showcase examples with the technical breakdowns. Can we have that kind of stuff happen in Madden and it not be a two-man animation? You see what I'm saying? Like, instead of having a two-man animation depicting what happens on a press, what happens on a blow-by, what happens in any of those situations, how about just showcasing two players dynamically interacting with each other, but the footwork still is held intact? You know what I'm saying? Player movement and everything, all of that stuff is held intact. Weight, momentum, skill, etc. But it still is held intact, because the way that these DBs are basically able to cover is extremely unrealistic in terms of, like, because everybody, look, if all these players that play man defense and everything could cover the way that they allow them to, it's, the way it feels is it still feels relatively heavily on the mechanical side, and it doesn't really look or feel fluid. So that's a huge lack in that sense. The AI aspect, once again, I know these are things that we've said before, but we need to have you got to have an ace kind of system to an extent. You got
Real,
to have.
real
Oh,
quick,
go ahead.
Smitty. Let
Yeah,
me say this before you continue, because
yeah.
I don't want some people to get lost. I just want to comment on Ray's comment here really quick. This should kill all the noise about social media, game changes, community, whatever, however people feel about such or said people is irrelevant. Listen to what Smitty just said about Ace. The feedback and all of that about what's happening or what's pertinent to the game. If the things that we're talking about, it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter if you had a competitive guy or what have you, because the core. We're talking about the core. Like we got to get away from, people. Again, everybody still feels like it's at the surface. The problem is not the community members, some game changers, whoever else y'all want to blame and point fingers at. That ain't the problem. The problem is beyond that. Because I tell you right now, what Smitty is talking about and what I have always talked about, what we have always mentioned since we've been a part of this thing. The devs, I'm going to tell y'all a secret. They don't need us at all. I hope y'all know that. And I know Kia knows that. The people in that building, the core dev team that has their hand all over the game, your A-Dubs and your Clints, and even when Rex, they don't need the community members nor game changers to make a great game. So let's move away from that, because that's the wrong way to think. That has nothing to do with the progression of the game. I promise you that. Everybody's going to have opinions of what they want and how they want the game to work out, but I'm telling you, that has zero to do with the progression of principles and fundamentals that's put into that football game. If they were given the ability to do it, it would be done. You guys would hate Anthony White.
Yeah.
Because you would throw so many intercepts, like your head would pop off of your shoulders. For those of us that, I'm gonna say us because it's community, but no, I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna say those of you. But those of you that don't fully understand football, oh my goodness. Mess around and let A-Dub have free will and let Kia continue to talk to him the way he does. And yeah, tell me how successful you'll be in that game with them two. I'm just saying. So I just wanted to interject really quick, man, because again, Smitty and our job, man, we take it upon ourselves to make sure we always educate those who follow us and try to get you going in a different direction. Like, we have to stop talking about the community members and the game changes, and that has, man, we are so far beyond that. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about here tonight. And our message here tonight is aimed at the people who control the progression of Madden. That's who we're talking about. So, I'm just saying, it's a little, it sucks sometimes to see how many people still feel like it's the dev team and that they're untalented. And man, y'all have no idea, but that's all, Smitty. I just wanted to set the stage for, a lot of people in here that I see here tonight that, they kind of follow me through the Steelers stuff. Some didn't even know I was affiliated at all with Madden. So I just want to make sure everybody knows what we're talking about. So there you go. But my bad, Smitty. Go ahead, man.
Oh, you good. You good. And this is another layer to just add on top. It's just, look, think about it for a second, okay? Like, even I sit back, and I'm pretty sure Sim has done the same thing. You look at, like, the last title update they did, right? And they added these different formations and things like that into the game. Now, mind you, the function was just added in this year, so that way they could definitely bring these plays in. Now, bear that in mind. Like what Sim just said, EA or the execs that give the resources and the budget and all that stuff, whatever. They have to give them the resources to say, okay, you guys can do this now. Okay, you got hey A-Dub. I bet you A-Dub saying he wanted to add plays and stuff like that. That may have been something that he wanted to do a few years ago. You know what I'm saying? And it could be like, okay, now you know what? Now you guys can go ahead and do this. So now it's like, hey, great. Now we can add these plays and we can add this and we can do that. But the people in charge are the ones that allow that kind of stuff to happen. They're the ones that make that call. You see what I'm saying? As we have said, me, Sim, others have said, we've told y'all on here many times over. Man, there's so much stuff that the devs want to do to the game, man. This game would be ridiculous if they could just have their way with it. And that's the thing. It's like it would be awesome if they just had their way, but that's the part about it. They don't just have their way. They can't just do everything the way they personally feel like doing it. And because they can't, that's when, at times the game comes out the way that it does. But the thing is, just like with us, we understand that it's a process. We're not saying that we're cool with it, but we understand. We get what it is. We get it. And you have guys like, and so when you look at A-Dub and the employees, they understand. They understand how things work cyclically. And it's just like they just do the best they can with what they're realistically given. If they're given a heck of a lot more resources, I bet you they would do a heck of a lot more. But they're not. See what I'm saying? So it's like these dudes want to do a lot with this game. A-Dub is given some kind of green light to do more with the game here. I want to see those guys give us a lot more of that football touch. That's why like what I was saying before about AI, I would love to see them blow the cover off of AI.
Yeah.
I mean, really see team dynamic adjustment based off of what you're doing. Actually have coach game plans and coach tendencies. Not just, well, we're looking at what they're doing in the NFL and then this is no, but what happens when you play in a franchise mode though?
Right.
And from an offline guy, or even if you're playing in a league, and let's say you choose to play in your online league, and you're, the person who's running that team can't play, but you want to play that game. You want to play against a game that's going to be competent. I mean, you know what I mean? Excuse me, the AI is going to be competent. Like, oh, snap, I'm playing against this team. How do they like to play? Oh, they like to run this much. They like to pass this much. How often do they pass to the middle, left, right-hand side of the field? How often are they calling run plays? They run up the middle, left, right-hand side. Like, I know it's crazy, but stuff that was in NFL 2K5. Like, those VIP profiles. How much would, to have something like that in the game? So that way, even if you're not playing against that user, you still are playing against that user, and you're playing their tendency. You see what I'm saying? So, like, realistically, that's how it works. So, like, that would be something to see great in the game, but we have to see that element play in the game, and we need to see players playing like their actual counterparts.
Right.
Not just ratings.
That's a big step they took. Sam. They took a big step, just as a side note, adding these X factors and all of that. Yep. Now you just gotta, it probably still needs a little balance. But that was a huge step in doing what Smitty just said by at least, trying to give us that effect. And for the most part, those players do play like themselves. For the most part. Not all the way there. Right. But, yeah, I fully agree with that, man.
Yeah. And some of the moves, and that's the other thing, too. First year of implementing it, Yes, does the system need some work to it? Yes, it definitely does. But is it necessary to be in there? Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, it does. So no going around it. Okay, so I know some people complain, oh, you don't have the core game right first, and because you don't have it, you added this. You shouldn't have did that. No, it needs to be added on top of making that forward progression to get the core game right. Even though I do agree with the sentiment, I believe that the core game should be right first, but this is still a necessary step. So at least you're already working on it and you can refine it going forward. But this is the key thing. These abilities and X factors and stuff, it can't feel cheesy.
Yeah.
That's the only problem. Like if you got Enforcer, you know what I'm saying? Like, eh, it still should. See, that's what I'm saying. This is where I look at FIFA now. I look at FIFA and I look at NHL. And the only reason why I don't say PES is I'm just saying because I'm just focusing on product that EA makes. FIFA has abilities in it along with their attributes.
Mm-hmm.
But if you never looked in the menus, you wouldn't even know. That's the thing. If you didn't go into the pause menu and say, let me see who could do what. If you never looked in the menus and you just played the game for 10 minutes straight, unless you knew players' names and such, but you wouldn't know because of how the game plays. You see what I'm saying? There isn't a particular animation that triggers or a certain sequence that happens where you're going to play it and say, oh, I know that guy has something special because look what he just did. Like, nah, it's nothing that's going to be insanely over the top or wild or zany or whatever that you're just going to look at and say, what the heck was that just happened here? You see what I'm saying? Now, just think, and the reason why I say it like that, and I mean, you could play, now I'll throw PES in there. I'll say the same thing about PES. I'll say the same thing about MLB The Show. Once again, same deal. That game, excuse me, those games have abilities in there too. But at the same time, you wouldn't know because the way the game plays, and that's the point that I'm getting at. It needs to feel authentic. Authentic with the AI, authentic with the animation quality and the fidelity, authentic with the physicality, the physics. FIFA does a great job with that.
Man, dude.
NHL does a phenomenal job with that. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I picked up both of those games this year. You know what I'm saying? Like, I picked them games up way earlier than I would have, but I had to get them. You know what I'm saying? I had to get them. Like, those games were, like, when I played the demos and all that, those games were good. But when I look at Madden and then I play these two games, that's why I'm like, no, Madden has to step it way up, man. It has to step it way up. And see, the thing is, I want to see the abilities of Lawrence Taylor, but he doesn't have to think about this. Playing Ultimate Team. I want to play with Lawrence Taylor, and he's going to feel and play like LT, but like I just said, if you didn't go into any menu or anything to see anything activate on the field, let's say you got X factors and all that, but you don't see any of that flash or appear on field. If I didn't even see any of that flash on field, I would clearly be able to tell by the gameplay alone. That's LT. You see what I'm saying? Because he is absolutely wreaking havoc on every side. Wherever he's put at on the field, he is wreaking havoc. And, I mean, you're seeing the organic animations. You're seeing him not stuck in two-man canned animations at all. But everything is organically and contextually making sense when he interacts with the offensive line, when he pushes through or jumps over a halfback trying to clip him, getting to the quarterback, and then that quarterback cocks the ball back, tries to throw it, gets hit, and the ball organically plays accordingly limbs act accordingly, everything. Body contorts based upon the hit. Come on, dog. That's the kind of stuff that needs to happen.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be, well, only certain quarterbacks can be hit as they throw, and then the animation is going to play where they're going to be able to throw the ball. Whereas if your quarterback doesn't have the trait, then he's just going to go from throwing the ball to just tuck it in and take the 2-man sack animation. Like, no. I was in the process of throwing that ball before the defender got there. If the defender hits me, then hit me. You see what I'm saying? They hit me. If I end up throwing a duck, I can live with that because I threw it under pressure. If it's a duck, if it goes the opposite direction or whatever, or it's wobbly or it falls straight to the ground, whatever direction or trajectory my arm is going in when I'm hit, respect that. Backbreaker did it. That's the kind of thing that we need to see in Madden. And that's what I'm saying. If you do those kind of things, people will love Madden that much more. You know what I'm saying? And I saw somebody comment and say, like, people are upset with 2K and everything, like 2K20. And this is a wild thing, Sim. I know you probably didn't know about this. 2K just put out a title update for 2K19.
What? A
few days ago. Yeah.
Why?
Well, now I don't know if this is why, but I think this plays a part in it. People, they're upset with 2K20 online. So this is an online thing. People are upset with 2K20's gameplay. They feel it's broken, busted, and things like that. So you got a good number of people now that are migrating back to 2K19 and playing that online instead. So I think they did a title update to fix certain exploitable glitches, like demigod glitches or something like that were happening. So I think they did a patch for that for the online. So now you have a fair number of people that are over there playing 2K19 now, which is crazy, but I mean, when people get upset about that, you got to understand this too. And this is something me and Sim talk about as well. Look, the dev team are supposed to be the chefs. They're the cooks in the kitchen. You can't have all these people from the community try to be chefs at the same time.
Yep.
See what I'm saying? That's how these games get broken. Just like Modern Warfare. I play a lot of Modern Warfare. Modern Warfare does not feel... It doesn't feel... The game is fun, and I enjoy it still, but the game is not as pure as it was at launch. And the reason why is because people whine and complain. Oh, I'm getting hit with claymores. Man, I'm dying too fast. It should take longer for me to get killed. Y'all gotta adjust. Even the homie Jive Turkey made a video complaining like that. I had to comment on his joint, like, man, no, like, if y'all don't like it, play something else. Don't tell these dudes to fix something that ain't broke. Just because you're not used to an experience. Just like we've said here. Like, just like what you said, Sam. What if Madden was A-Dub's vision? What if Clint was like, man, take all your NFL experience and straight pump it into this game? Like, really give that challenge. People would lose their minds and be screaming for patches all day long.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Call of Duty just did. They made the gunplay a lot more realistic in terms of how quick you could drop people. And you got guys like Jive Turkey, Marka J, 8 Counts, and others all whining and complaining, oh no, this ain't right. No, this is messed up. How? Complaining about things that they've been doing in Call of Duty for over a decade. And they're complaining about it now, like, oh, now it's a problem. But it's been going on forever. Dudes planting a claymore somewhere, getting killed by it, hiding it behind the door or whatever, Oof. And they're quickly getting killed and stuff like that.
Well, they running down the Cowboys' throat right now.
Good gracious.
Yeah.
So So yeah, man. I mean, that's what happens when you let people, and see the part that sucks about it is you have these people that'll play these games, complain about these new games, and then when they do all the damage to the brand new game, and then it ends up getting messed up because they tamper with it doing all that updating, then they say, "Hey, go back and play the old one." You see what I'm saying? Like, well, wait a minute. I saw Mark and J whine and complain about Modern Warfare. What's he playing? Black Ops 4. He streams that all the time. Oh, but he whined and complained in a 30-minute video talking about, does QA even test the game? Really? But you play Black Ops 4 that has a plethora of issues in it itself. And you're okay with that? But you got a problem with Modern Warfare, though. Okay. See? So it's like, I would like to see, honestly, and I know I'm kind of going all over the place with this, but this is just a point that I would like to see with next gen. I would like to, even though this is more than likely not going to happen, but I would like to see the game. I would like to see, when it comes to next gen, for developers to be able to stand firm on what they build.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And not have to adjust.
You know your own vision. That's what we always tell them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, take our feedback, great. But anything that you have built that you know that's how you want your product to function from a fundamental standpoint, stop messing with that stuff.
Right.
You felt good about it. Like, think about how good you felt about the game at the moment in which you said, this is it. This is our baby. We're turning this in. We got our update schedule already in place to, fix certain things we want to fix or implement that. But that's it. I mean, I don't know how can we stress that to these devs, but definitely with Madden. Go with your instinct. Keep your vision intact and only fix bugs. Bugs only. That's it.
That's it. That's part of the problem. Is that that's literally over half the battle. Because they're listening too much to people, and then it's like, you patch this, then you patch that, then because you patch this, now you got to fix something else. That, what's his name? Czar said it. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you patch, and whenever you tamper with one thing, it's going to tamper with some other area of the game.
Yep.
It's a given. That is going to happen. So yeah, and that is true though, Ray. You are right about that. The shotgun was OP. You could use a shotgun like a dang on rifle, and you was dropping cats with one shot. So that is true. I will agree with that. That's it. Fix bugs, but don't try to please people with the gameplay like that. Don't try to please everybody like that, because you're not going to.
You know what? And this is this is an interesting question. How do you feel about that though? Like, I haven't played the game, but let's think about it for a moment. Because remember, guys, and Smitty knows this. I'm one of those dudes that I wanted the ultra realistic shooter, and I know that ain't fun for everybody.
Right.
Like a realistic shooter. But think about it. How do we feel about a shotgun being able to drop people on one shot? It's a shotty. I'm just like, if we think about it from a realistic standpoint, maybe, and again, guys, we're just talking here, but maybe I would say if they could program a game to where distance matters, but if you up and close and you land a shotgun shot on somebody, I don't know. I don't know if I have that much of a problem with it being able to drop people. But again, I haven't played it, so I don't know exactly what you guys are referring to. But I'm just saying, it's always going to be, we always are definitely going to allow some game elements into video games because they are video games. You know what I mean? So that's a little tricky.
Yeah. Well, it's like, it's not. Excuse me. No. What I'm saying is, like, dudes will be halfway across, like they could be halfway across the map, dang near, and you're
Oh
dropping
no.
dudes with
Yeah,
one
that ain't
shot.
supposed to happen.
That's what I'm saying. Like with a shotgun at that distance, that was the problem. Like a lot of people had that problem. Was like,
Got you. Okay.
okay, yeah, it's the distance. No, no, no. Up close, it's one. It's oh yeah, up close, one hit, and it's a wrap. Like there's certain handgun. If you have a D Eagle, or if you have like Desert Eagle or a Magnum, it's one hit and they're done.
Mm.
That's with the handgun. So it's like with the shot, oh yeah, that you get that 7.25 and you up close. There, you talking about the 7.25. You have that 7.25 up close, boom. That's it. Like it's one hit, you done. So that's okay. But it's just the distance that was the problem. So, but see, that's the other thing too. People were looking for that. They don't want it to be that realistic because they want to be able to get hit 3, 4 times and be able to try and drop shot, try and jump shoot, turn around. Man, I couldn't even turn around and recover. Your back was to me. What do you mean you didn't get a chance? Yo bad, your back was to me. You know what I'm saying? Like if you caught, you caught. Like that's the name of the game. That's how it goes, pimp.
Right.
So that's why that's how we're saying we want the game to like we like the game. Most of us did. It's a different take on the game. And yeah, look, people said the game sucked. But see, it was either because they didn't want to get the handle of it, you know what I'm saying? Or because it was a brand new experience. Like it wasn't your typical Call of Duty experience. The way the game played. So it was a bit more of a challenge to it now. Man, I'm getting dropped too quick. Okay, so you have to be so you instead of just running out there, be more tactful with your approach and you'll be okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, you can still do that and be all right in the game. So yeah, there's levels to it. But yeah, that's what it was with that. But Madden though, AI, player movement, organic chaotic play that does represent both skilled and non-skilled players alike. Or I should say skilled players on different tiers. Like you're great, your great players, good, average, below average, poor players. Like you should be able to see. I'm playing FIFA. Like I've been playing a little bit of FIFA 20 here. I'm playing FIFA 20, and I have two very poor quality teams that I'm playing with right here, and you can clearly see the differential between playing with each squad. I mean, I can clearly see who can do what, and it's like their best player is not even making the grade. Like their pass accuracy is not that good, their defense isn't great, but they can make some kind of plays. You see what I'm saying? Like it
Mm-hmm.
shows, it's there, but you see the level of it. You know what I'm saying? Like how in 2K, like how in 2K, like how you could tell like Luca has decent ball handling skills, but Luca doesn't handle the ball as well as James Harden. You see what I'm saying? Or
Oh, there
a
goes
Steph.
Zeke. Zeke just
Yeah.
broke a big one. Oh boy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he didn't score, but yeah, it was about a rough estimate, about a 30-yard run. It looked like
Mm. Okay.
looking like a good football game here tonight. Maybe 25. I don't know. It was plus 20 yards. I know that much.
Okay. Good little scamper there. Okay. Okay. That's what's up. But yeah, you need to be able to see the levels of players. Like it should tell visually from when you see it on the field. Just like how we see it on Sundays. No different. You know what I'm saying? Like how you see how Zeke runs on the field. You see how he works. That's how he's able to stand out. You know what I mean? Same thing
Mm-hmm.
with a wide receiver that you call up from a practice squad and he makes a play or two. That doesn't mean he's a superstar, but he should still be able to make plays. And that's like a point I made to Sim. a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? Like playing FIFA, I'm like 19 or 18, playing through the career mode. You have a player that's like under 18. He's like a 51 or a 52 overall. And I play him and he's able to make an effective impact as a player in game. You wouldn't know that he was a 50 overall until you looked at his skill rating. And that's my point. It's like he can still have realistic impact in games. That's how it should be in these sports games. Like we should see that. If FIFA is able to give it to us like this, we should see the gameplay given to us like that in Madden. That's
Absolutely.
my point.
Absolutely.
And the game's going to be a port over and all that. Listen, this is where I'm at. This is how I feel about it. Okay. FIFA 14 was a port over to this generation, but at the same time, it was widely received with high praise. You don't know why? Because the game looked, felt, and played like a next gen title, even though it still was technically a port over. NBA 2K14, my gosh. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, I still remember that trailer, man.
Yeah, like,
oh God, that made me believe that was next gen, bro.
Yeah, that's the whole point. That's it. When you make you have to make a debut that is not, oh, we ported it over. Oh, thanks to the console's capability, we're able to get the graphics a little bit of a bump up. No. That's not going to cut it. No. It needs to be because of what we have on this generation of consoles. Look what we were able to do with the features. I mean, we had a feature set, but man, what we were able to do. That's what it needs to be like. It needs to be a game that looks like presentation, bang, core gameplay, boom, look what we did. AI, like, it needs to be an experience that we have never seen before. It has to be a game that does harness that capability of what the console is giving us.
Mm-hmm.
Out the gate. You give us a game like that, that is what's going to make people feel great. Presentation, core gameplay, AI, player movement, ball physics, especially, modes, things like that. Like, FIFA has reworked their physics over and over again. Madden hasn't, and once again, it's just like what I said about NBA Live. Look, if y'all got to get with EA Canada and EA Europe or whatever to get the game right with player movement and physics and ball physics and stuff like that, do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just do it. Like, whatever needs to be done, do it. Because FIFA has multiple studios working on their game. Madden just goes up to Canada for mocap. I don't need to do that. They need two studios. They need to have two studios genuinely working on this game. At least two, maybe three. But they need to have genuine, like, people genuinely are working on this game every year. Give us an experience to be truly proud of. To be happy about. Like, man, I cannot wait to play this game because of what they're doing here and because what they have with this, that, and the third. So that's sort of that. Those are the main things. I mean, I know I didn't even talk about zone play. I'll say this about zone play. It's like what we've said multiple times, and I've definitely said it before too. Zone play, just like everything else, it needs to be a organically playing zone. Like, I would love for them to be like, hey, remember those zone circles of old where they would basically play to all those circles and not really much further than that? Yeah, that's done now. So now, you know what I mean? Now it's like you dial up the play, you see the play art and everything, but how the play is, it's organically going to play according to, like, you're going to see defenders react. You'll see some defenders potentially bluff. on their coverage. You know what I'm saying? Like Ed Reed, he did that a lot. He'll sell the belief that, oh, I got this opening, I'm going to throw it here. And then, boom, he reacts just like that, and he got it. Picks it off. See what I'm saying? Like, we need to see that kind of stuff. We need to see that play happen where no one is just standing covering grass and, oh, well, because nobody came to my zone, I have no reason to move. I have no reason to move over to the left or move to the right. I have no reason to do any of that. No, that stuff can't go on, man. It can't persist. There needs to be a difference in that. And that's the thing, once again, rewinding it back to Sim's point. If A-Dub could make the game that he really would want to make, it wouldn't be doing that. They wouldn't be doing that coverage like that. You know, they wouldn't be standing there covering grass and things like that at all. So that's why I'm just saying, I want to see them take the cover off of what's been stuck for so long and really be able to blow it all the way out. So that's basically where I'm at with it, man.
Yeah, that's it, man. I mean, it's just that simple, man. And we always say, you know, it's not as big a fix as people would think. However, it is big for the game. Like Smitty says, I mean, you gotta come through kicking the door in. But in reality, if you fix those things, I mean, and again, some people's perception of that being a lot of work versus not is different. But if you just address those things that we talked about, man, you know, player movement that's more physics based, more so, than just animation. Physics driving the animation when there's a collision and or contact. Weight and momentum always playing a factor in dictating how the physics play out. Because, you know, that's a twofold thing. You have the physics that drive the animation, but then you also have weight and momentum that play along in the physics. Okay, no forced animations. Get rid of those the two-man animations that must trigger. You know, it has to be more independent. And then the AI, man. I mean, it's that is the difference from Madden being okay and Madden being great. And here's the funny thing, Smitty, and some people might not agree. I play a lot of Madden because I still play in that 32-man league. So it gives me a chance to kind of see what's really happening. You know, I don't thoroughly enjoy it, but I have a good time playing it, especially against other users. And the funny thing is, man, even when you play offline, the game is, how can I say this? The game is better than what some would think. And what I mean by that is that it's not completely broken. It's not completely trash. It's not where it doesn't have anything. There are things that play out well in the game. There's even some animations that you'll see. And I don't know, Smitty, is it because of let's say the last 2 updates? I'm seeing a lot of different things happening that I wasn't always seeing. You know, even in the trenches, even though it's still stagnant, but I'm seeing more animation play out with the linemen and the way guys fall sometimes. Tackling seems to have gotten, like, I see the stepping stones now, like, oh, okay. Well, if you just keep going in that direction, you can blow this thing out. And I'm telling you, the things that Smitty and I are talking about, if those things were in Madden right now, the game would be, dare I say, phenomenal. Just think about that. If the game played as clean as a game like FIFA plays, we sitting here talking about how good Madden is. That would be the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we never give feedback on things that we don't think is possible. I learned that a long time ago, especially since we have come down, we've been able to go behind the curtain, so to speak, and I started learning the dynamics of how you build a video game, et cetera, and some of the limitations. I said, okay, great. So my feedback is going to be from a different approach now. But if I see other games able to do the things that I talk about, then that's where I give the feedback. And like Smitty said earlier, we don't even have to talk about the outside. We can just talk about what they do with some of their own games. And it's more than possible. Being possible is not even a question anymore. And that's why, guys, this is why we keep saying, don't say things are not possible. And don't say that, I mean, of course you guys wouldn't know this, but I'm telling you, you don't have to say the devs are not talented enough. That ain't it, man. That the devs are definitely talented enough to get this done. It's that front office, man. And if Hollywood is still in here, I hate to pick on your skins, but it's like what they say about Daniel Snyder. That's the best example I could give you. It's the front office of EA Tiburon. And if you think we lying, just look at the track record. Where's NBA Live at?
Yeah.
And how far has Madden truly progressed just with the core fundamentals? And then when you look on the outside of that, FIFA, NHL, as far as just gameplay, because I know those games are not perfect. Those crowds are not happy with everything either. I'm just talking about the things that I read off of this list. We can physically see those things happening in those games where it's not always happening the way it should in Madden, and NBA Live is like an afterthought. Two different buildings, man. Tiburon and EA Canada. And it's just disappointing, man, because it's getting to a point where I'll be fully transparent with you guys. I don't know, man. At this point, I don't know if it ever will, turn the corner. We're in a wait and see mode. And that's why, you don't hear us get so hyped no more about, man, they got to do this. We kind of just put our general feedback out there, and whatever happens, happens. Because I've been able to enjoy the game to a degree, the way I play it, and understanding that, it's not at my level anymore. It's not at my feedback level no longer. It's really not. And I have a good time playing, NBA 2K. And, I got FIFA also. I have a good time playing those games, man. And I just, spend my time. I spread my time out to where Madden doesn't piss me off on a daily basis. That's the best way to say it. I just spread my time out. If I get tired of Madden, I pop something else in and play that. But I just feel like, and I think Smitty probably feels the same way, man, is how long have we been giving the same feedback? At this point, I don't know, man. We'll have to just see if some of these things are ever addressed. And if we see that corner turning, then maybe we can be a little more aggressive and we can say, oh, okay, so y'all actually doing this now. Okay, all right, let's add this. But we have to see these things from this list addressed. If we don't see those things addressed at any point, it's never going to get to a certain point if you don't start with those things. And I saw somebody ask the question earlier. I think it was Ray. He was saying, so, it bears the question, if doing these things make the game sell more, then why won't they give them free reign? I mean, guys, it seemed like we had this conversation all the time. It's the same conversation. And all I got to do is refer you back to Rex Dixon. And I'm sure most of you guys who are listening tonight remember that. Never forget what he said about his battles, his fights internally when he was there. He literally said out of his own mouth that he's dealing with people in marketing and PR and what have you that don't see the importance of some of the things that he wanted to bring to the table from a pure simulation standpoint. I don't think you can get more clear than that.
All right.
That's your answer right there. Bottom line, the people who are in charge of making the bottom dollar, their interest isn't as vested as the people who are in the grassroots. That it's just that simple. And I mean, Smitty has said this fact for years, and I think it has proven itself. Whereas you got a game like 2K, and for as long as we all can remember, they were always about the details. The details. Yep. Think about it. NBA or NFL 2K, the first one, that wasn't that great of a game. If you think of, I mean, just compare it to Madden. It wasn't that great of a game on the field. But what opened all of our eyes was like, whoa, you see that? Oh, when it's cold, the players breathing, and you start seeing a lot of details both on and off the field. When I say off the field, I'm just talking about presentation, which technically is on field, but you guys know what I mean. We start seeing that from day one. Their basketball game was the first one I remember that had the sweat on the jersey. So whether you want to consider that gameplay or not, that told me right then, oh, these people about them details. Whoever this 2K Sports and Visual Concept, who these people are, yo, they about them details, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And then the details caught up to gameplay. Well, vice versa. Gameplay caught up to the details, and by 2K4, we peeking over there like, hey, man. Whoa. And then when 2K5 hit, then we all know how everybody feels about that. And that's my point. Two different approaches by two different companies, or I'll just say studios, because I'm not going to say company anymore, because again, folks, let's not act like EA don't have games that are good games. We're just talking about Tiburon. So that's it in a nutshell, man. The difference between, Visual Concepts and those folks, and San Diego Studios and those folks, versus EA Tiburon. There you have it. So, I don't know. Wait a minute, man. Did y'all see that? Are y'all watching the game? Did the Bears just run the exact same play twice? And look, Smitty, the funniest thing about it, I don't know if you're watching it, the pass deflection and the catch attempt looked identical. It almost looked like Madden. The dude tried to catch it the same way. And if you guys are watching the game in the chat, tell me I'm lying. Didn't that look like almost the same identical, not only just the play, it looked like the same interaction. I'm looking at Madden on the TV, man. Ain't that crazy? Wow, that was insane. Because I did a double take. I looked back, I was like, wait a minute, didn't that just happen on second down? But yeah. Yeah, man, that's all, man. I don't really know what else to add to it, folks. Again, man, if you've heard our tone change a little bit, it's because we just know the reality. At this point, man, we're gonna continue to give our feedback, but it's beyond. We used to think at one time, and Smitty knows this, we used to think it was just at the feedback surface, at that level. But it ain't. It's well beyond that. So, we'll see. We shall see.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just looking at the replay of that now. Yeah, that is true. Both of those plays, yeah.
They look identical, didn't they?
But you want to know something that would be even better? Now, just think if that was organic two-player interaction.
Right.
Just how much better that would be to be like, hey, man, that's similar to what's in the game. Like, we're talking about a can animation, even though, yeah, it does happen. But it's a can animation. Like, you can see dudes get motion, suction into that interaction happening. Where instead of it being an organic two-player situation. So, but you're right though. It does happen. Excuse me. It does happen in the game.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. But that's it, folks. I don't really have nothing else, man. I guess, Smitty, man, to try to round the show out really quick, man. Sometimes, like we said, guys, we want to bring some real life situations on the show. I want to get your thoughts, man. What was your thoughts on that guy? What's his name? Tim Ryan, the San Francisco guy. That,
Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, and it's like this, guys. I'm gonna give my opinion really quick and then throw it to Smitty. To be fair, it probably was. Oh wow, Bears score. Or did they? Wait a minute. Hold on, folks. If y'all watching this, it looked like a simultaneous catch between Jalen Smith and the receiver, but you know it usually goes to the receiver, so they're probably going to award him the touchdown. But Smith came up with the ball. But I believe that's going to be a touchdown. So before I continue, let me just see what's going to happen here. All right, Robinson. Yeah, they probably going to award that a touchdown. That was interference also, by the way. We want to get technical. Yeah, he took the ball after the fact. That's a touchdown. But anyway, to me, it was more of a stupid comment than it was a racist comment. However, let me say that really loudly. However, those thoughts came from somewhere. Like, I get it. I get it. You made a mistake. And see, this is why, guys, I think apologies sometimes are overrated. Who thinks like that? Even if a smart man understands, oh, I can't say that. I don't care if it is live on air. Anybody smart knows they cannot say that. And for you guys who didn't hear it, what he basically said was, you know, he was giving Lamar Jackson a little bit of praise, and he was like, oh, and you know, with him having, dark skin and a dark football and dark jersey, it's hard to see where the ball is. You can't see that thing. Bruh. Let me tell you why that's so stupid and why it's a little offensive. How many black players are in the NFL?
Right.
I remember a guy named Michael Vick who, if we be technical, might be the same or maybe a shade darker than Lamar Jackson. I don't recall hearing that. I recall the Atlanta Falcons home jerseys were black, weren't they? The football color hasn't changed. And he was black. So I wonder why that never came about with him. I mean, how many black players are there in the league that handle the football that wear dark colored jerseys? It was a stupid comment. And like I said, I don't know the guy. I'm not always the first one to jump into these whole, I don't jump into the whole, oh, you're a race. I don't do that when I don't know people. Y'all know me. I just, play in my own lane and, I don't know his history. But what he said, it definitely comes off as a semi-racist comment because, like I said, why was that your go-to? I get what he was trying to say, but no, you can't say that. Period. That was stupid. And it had to be fueled from something. I'm not saying the man is a racist. I'm just saying he may have some type of thoughts in his mind that makes him go to that. So that's just how I feel about it, man. I thought it was crazy. He definitely should be suspended. I mean, I'm not coming for the man's job, but I thought that was wild, Smitty. So let me ask you, Smitty, and instead of acknowledging Lamar Jackson's skill, do you think because he has dark skin and it kind of blends with the football, is that the reason why he's so good with the read option?
Yeah. No, surprisingly, no, that's not the case. Because what happens when it's an away game then, if that's the case? Oh, man. But no, I know, like, dude, yeah, that was wild.
That was crazy, man.
I mean, for him to say that, there's so many other things that he could have said instead of saying that. And he would have been, I mean, if he could have said anything else except the skin color thing. That's all he had to do, and he would have been in the clear. But I mean, I don't know, like you said, Sam. I don't know if this guy has a history of doing stuff like that. Like, They'd have to look at his overall record. I mean, in terms of that, like, because is he known for being edgy on the airways,
Right.
like a Howard Stern or a Don Imus or something like that? You know what I mean? Like, if that's not the case, then it's not really as big of a deal. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be taken as deep. But yeah, that's one of those comments that should have never came out. Like, yeah, you don't say stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? That's something you can't allow that to come out your mouth. So that was exceptionally foul. I mean, I get the 1 game suspension and nothing more than that, but yeah, that's basically like your first, second, and third strike warning right there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh my
along with that
God.
1 game suspension, like, yeah, you got one more time to do something like that. You do something remotely close to that, you out. You know what I'm saying? Because like as I mentioned on Imus, just remember like what he said about the female ball players
Oh
like
yeah.
years ago. You know what I'm saying?
Oh God, Don Imus was wilding,
Call
yo.
them nappy headed, you know what I'm saying? Nappy headed girls out there on the court. I'm like, oh no. And he got cut. They took him off the air for that
Oh my
immediately.
goodness,
You know what I'm
man.
saying? But then he got put on satellite radio where it's uncensored. So, and that's the thing. He was on censored radio when he said that. So then he got a deal, with ironically, so he could be uncensored on satellite radio. So, but you can't, you know what I'm saying? That's stuff that you just can't do.
Can't
You
do it.
know,
You
you
gotta
can't,
know that.
yeah. And he knew, and that's the thing, he knew that. So for him to say that, yeah, no, 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 no. Regardless of the thought process, knee jerk or not, whatever, you can't do that.
You just can't do it, man. That's the thing. I don't think some people understand that. You just can't. You can't do that, man. I mean, like I said, some things are just clear cut. You know, everything. I'm the first person to say everything ain't always a race issue, but some things are just clean cut, and that is
Yeah.
one of them. Like you just, bruh, like nothing in your mind made you think about it. How many times, Smitty, have you been at work? I mean, heck, right here on this show. How many times have we been close to saying something we ain't supposed to say, and we stop that quick?
Yeah.
And even if you listen to dude, it was a little hesitation there too. It was a little hesitation. He knew what he was about to say won't gonna sound right. So to me, it almost sounded like he tried to clean it up by saying black jersey and black ball and nah, bro.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
Crazy, man. But yeah, some people make mistakes, but at the end of the day, that was just dumb. And I'm talking to you people out there who are trying to defend it. Stop it. There's no defending that. Dude should have never said that. And if you thought that was cool, then you know what you can do. So that's all, man. I don't think I got anything. Oh, one last thing, Smitty, and I'll let you take it away, man, because I know you follow hoops a little closer than I do. How you feeling about what Melo doing, man?
Hey, Melo working. You know what I'm saying? Melo is out here working. Like
Yeah.
I'm happy that he did need, you know what? In hindsight now, I am glad that he was out for that year.
Mm.
The reason why I'm saying that is because he got that slice of humble pie.
Right. Yeah.
Because he really needed, like, he needed to, and I mean, listening to his interviews and hearing him after, seeing him on First Take, basically pleading and everything else, he wouldn't have done that. He wouldn't have done that if he was still playing. And what I mean is, he wouldn't have been talking like that if he was on the Thunder, if he was steadily playing on the Rockets. And what I mean is that his mindset wouldn't change. You know what I'm saying? His whole approach changed. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what do you need me to do, coach? This is what I'm here to do. That's what you need me for? All right, I'm going to give it to you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, Mello, tonight, so-and-so's hurt, so we're looking for you to step it up. We putting the ball in your hands a little bit. We're calling your number. We need your help here with blase blah whoopty whoop. Okay, bet, coach, I'm ready. Other than that, hey, Mello, we only need this little bit from you. All right, I'll give it to you. And honestly, this was the Melo that I was hoping would have been around a few years ago. Because his game, he's not on LeBron's level. Okay? LeBron is doing something unheard of.
Yeah,
But
crazy, right?
LeBron retardedly takes care of himself. Okay? But he also has never had any serious injury to keep him out. But Melo didn't have anything that was truly holding him back like that. But yeah, he didn't have anything that truly held him back like that. But the bottom line though is that your game was not on the level of what LeBron and them was. And it's like, yes, he could give you 16, he could give you 6. This dude could give you 20. You know what I'm saying? I feel now he could give you 20. And I'm proud that he fits in with this team. And see, once again, like I think we talked about this before when he signed with him. He didn't want to sign with this team a year ago. You see what I'm saying? He didn't want to go to Portland.
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted him to play out of position and play the 4. Guess what he's doing? He's in Portland and he's playing the 4 spot.
Playing the 4, yep.
See what I'm saying? So that's that whole he didn't want to have that he didn't have that humility. Nobody else offered him a deal, and he's like, man, you know what? I'd rather sit out the whole year. And that's why I said it's good he sat out because he had that time to really, get himself together, get his mind right, especially for him to take this role. And he balling. Like I love seeing him go out there and do that work. And I'm glad that they picked up his contract already. So he's going to they signed him for the whole year. So they basically said that I saw it earlier tonight on Twitter. They said they picked up his contract. He's going to be signed for the whole season.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, so that's good because they basically had to wait until January 1st to see if they were going to keep him or not. Like that was the basis he was on initially, but he been working. So, yep, well earned, well deserved the way he's been playing.
Yeah, he deserved it, man. He's been balling.
Oh yeah, yep. So I'm happy for him, man.
That boy Giannis getting off too, man. Woo.
Yeah, Giannis.
Goodness.
That's you know what the sick part about it is if he develops a consistent jump shot, that's the key thing. T-Mac and many other people, basically every analyst that's especially former players, they like all Giannis got to develop is a jump shot, and as soon as he develops a jump shot, it's over, and that's true. He is punking everybody down low, dunking on everyone because he's too long and he's got strength with it. So if you like, oh, we're gonna take that away from you. If he could stroke that outside shot, which he's starting to show some of it. Like he's hitting them threes a little bit out there, but I'm saying he gets a consistent mid-range jump shot and he can occasionally step out there and shoot that 3 ball too. Yeah, it's gonna be a real problem. He's gonna be a real serious problem. So there's that to look out for. And one other thing I'll say is this real quick. I'm not gonna make the comparisons between Luka and LeBron and act like he's taking over LeBron's spot and everything, even though he lines up with LeBron with the stats right now in his second year, because Luka is balling.
Yeah, he is.
No question. Okay. But it's like he's balling, but his game is different. His game is not complete and utter like his game is not completely dominant. Where it's like, man, you can't stop him for nothing. His game isn't there yet. Okay, I will say that because the only way his game, usually a guy that comes in like that, is usually a physical thing. Like they physically come in with some kind of gift that's just absurd. So it's like give him some time, just like Steph Curry. He had to develop that he had to work on his three ball and everything before it got sickening the way it got in the league. So I'm just saying, give Luka another 2-3 seasons possibly. If he's playing at this rate or better, then yeah, then we'll definitely be looking at him like, yeah, man, this guy is insane. You know what I'm saying? This guy is insane. So yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what happens, man. But and the other thing, James Harden, dude, as many shots as that brother is taking at the rim, come on, dog. I mean, it's like he's padding stats, but it's like 24, 25 free throw attempts, shooting the ball 30 times, only making 10 shots and stuff. It's like, come on, dog. Like, no, man, you're not even efficiently getting the 60 points like that. No. When Kobe did it, what do you have, 62 points or whatever in 3 quarters or whatever? When Kobe did it, that was efficient. You know what I'm saying? When he did it. Not this crap that Harden is doing, man. No, dude. These guys are doing terrible. It's terrible. That's kind of stuff that makes the league look bad, in my opinion. But, I mean, look, I'm not, of course, Harden is a bad man. He could definitely ball. We know Westbrook could ball too, but not like this. You know what I'm saying? Not like this. So, no. But that was the last thing. I just wanted to tack that on to what you was saying.
Yeah, man. And I'll see what my Sixers gonna do, man. They doing all right now. I just don't. I still feel a little shaky about them, though, man. Ben Simmons I just think what he's able to do, it just might not be fully sustainable, man. He's gonna have to learn. He's got to learn, or at least try to find some type of shot somewhere. He's got to.
Yeah.
Because I just think, I don't think we can rely on, him being what he has been so far. I don't think you can just rely on that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's nasty, though. But, again, it almost goes back to what you said. If he could develop just a little consistent mid-range, man.
He'll be a monster.
A monster.
That's what I'm saying.
Because you got to respect, his ability to get to the rack. You got to expect it. And if he had a little pull back game or step back from like 15, come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he'd be sick. That's what I'm saying. Giannis is working. He's clearly working on the jump shot. But this brother gets in the gym, works on the jump shot and everything. And I'm talking about not having that in the gym rat session confidence with it. I'm talking about in the games when it matters the most. You're in here and you're pulling up consistently. You're pulling up them 15 and 16 7-footers. You know what I'm saying? Between 15 to 20 out. That's what you got to do. If you take the bull by the horns and do it, hey, all right now. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, then we now we gotta have a conversation. Shoot. So that's the key thing they gotta do. That we gotta see happen. So we'll see what happens. But that's all we got, man.
Yeah, it's been fun, folks. We're happy to be back, man, and hopefully we'll have some news to spread or talk about next week. Be happy to get back on here, man. And 17-7 Cowboy fans. Oh boy. Looking bleak out here. The craziest thing in the world is the fact that mathematically the Redskins are still in contention to win the division. That is retarded, man. That is at 3-9, there's still a possibility.
That's crazy.
That is just, man, that is crazy. NFC East, boy. But all right, guys, it's 10 o'clock right on the head, so I'm going to get myself ready to go here so I can get up tomorrow. But we appreciate everybody tuning in, man. Had a good show tonight. Think about that Madden stuff, man. Try to think about that. And, see how you guys feel about that situation there. And maybe we'll come back at you guys later. But all right, man. Everybody take care. Have a good night. God bless. Be safe. Have a good weekend. And we'll catch you guys next time on the Sim Standard Podcast. Peace.
Peace.